Howdy guys, and welcome back to another episode of Cranky Conrods. And today we're going to be having a look at a rear differential, drive shafts, etc. of a Mercedes w124 rear end of a Mercedes Coupe 2.2 non-compressed. Now I believe it's a P reg or something like that, or an N reg. It's like 94, 95. So yeah, 1995, 1994, something like that, something around that era. So it's getting on quite a bit. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to get into this rear end. We're going to be checking all the bearings, the pinions and the lashes, and hopefully we're not going to be finding anything too drastically wrong where we're going to be needing to send it out even further to have all the bearings done. So without much more of ado, let's get you guys dived in. Let's get this stripped down and basically let's go see what we got. Right, so as you can see, we have got the rear differential already out, and it's just sat on the outside table for now. I mean, it doesn't appear, right off the bat, there doesn't appear to be that much play in the end. There's no left and right rocking and that. So we seem to be pretty good there. Got a tiny little bit of movement in the thing, which I think at the moment, don't hold me to it, seems to be pretty decent. So this is why we're going to go ahead and rebuild all this rear axle, because in here, come on, focus, in here is an oil seal on both sides. So just down the side here, and I'm going to show you guys how basically we're going to check that, make sure that they're not leaking, and if they are, then we're going to be booting them up the road. Everything else, we're going to be cleaning up the drive shafts, because I don't actually think there's a tiny bit of play in there. So we're just going to check everything and make sure it's all correct, but we might be replacing the boots and the seals, and quite possibly the pinion seal. So let's get this stripped down where we get into a manageable size, and basically let's get on and dive in. Got one side off already on this side, as we can see, and we're going to go ahead and use an M10. I don't know if you can see that very well, but an M10 spline, and all we're going to do is make sure that we're fully locked in and just whiz them out. And that's all we're going to do all the way around. Make sure that your socket is firmly inside the bolt, otherwise you will strip them off and then you're going to be in a world of hurt and you're going to be rather annoyed. So just like so, just keep turning until it's all out. Let me get one that's stuck. As I say, these are tight, so just be warned. Like so. And with the power of magic, bump. Bye-bye drive shaft. And there we go, folks. So we'll now split the system up. We're going to go ahead and get the drain plugs out, etc., and the fill plugs, and make a bit more progress with this rear diff. So folks, as you can see, I've already been ahead and cleaned all the differential up, and I've already been ahead and just soaked all of the bolts, the M10 bolts. And the reason you're thinking of why there's two missing, well, let me explain. They are effing tight. And I mean effing tight. Because, ouch, yeah, still fucking hot, but there's your thread lock and your corrosion and everything else. So somebody's already been in here and had a good look around and used a bit too much Loctite. The only way you're going to get that off of here is with vibration and heat. Let me show you. I mean, it might come out, I doubt it will, but we'll show you. Impact gun on. That's a negatory. It doesn't come off. So we're going to play with fire. Fire good. Fire is very good in this situation. And all we're going to do is just warm up the nut, the spline, right in the centre. Like so. And while it's hot, we're just going to give it a bit of a shock treatment. And voila. So, ouch, hot. So, heat, like I say, is pretty decent in this scenario. But we're going to go ahead now. I'm going to put you on time lapse, get the rest of these out, and I'll get you guys caught up in just a second. Right, so what you saw there was me having a bit of trouble with this top one here. I mean, they are pretty crusty. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to prise it open and have a look inside now. And hopefully it's going to be all good and no sadness. Because we don't like sadness here. So yeah, let's just find me a little pry bar, chisel, whatever. Oh wow, that was easy. And there we go, guys. So far, there's our locking rings, look, just down in there. That locking ring there is what holds this gear in. It allows me to pull this out, if I remember rightly on these. But yeah, we're not. There's a little bit of play. It's well, that's me. Doesn't look too shabby. I mean, the car isn't beaten on, so I got to say that's one thing going for it. But very much sealant around that. So is that the reason why it's all caked in oil? Could be. Comment below. But so I think we are pretty damn golden in this one. But what we are going to probably do is pull these C-clips out, which will allow me to pull this out and basically get these out and everything else. So I'll get him to order up the yaw seals and call it a wrap on this one for now. Right, so just before we go ahead and completely dismantle it, we're just going to check how it's running inside. And yeah, as you can see, she's running not all the way into the middle, She's running quite close to the middle, look, as you can see here, but she's not going all the way down to the bottom of the teeth, because that would cause wear. So what we're just going to do is just go round one more time like that. And there we go, look. So we're pretty much in the centre, look, of this diff. Quite even patterns across the teeth. And as you can see, we're not going all the way into the bottoms of the teeth. So that tells me that, quite frankly, we've got a really, really good differential for many more times to come. So what we're going to do is just pull these little ear tabs out in here, and I reckon we'll just change the oil seals on the drive shafts and the pinion seal at the back here, and call it a day, because I don't really want to take it all apart if I can help it, and have to, you know, preload and set, and yeah, it gets really, yeah, quite complicated, and sometimes I don't have the patience for that. Anywho, I'll catch you guys up in a minute when we get them lugs out. Right folks, so as you can see, I've now took the C-clip out of him. Quite a tricky little fella to get out. Obviously he goes just down inside there like so. And what you do is you turn it to 180 degrees. I had to put 2 screwdrivers on the end and just pushed him into the differential housing, and that allowed it to come unclipped. And now we're not going to try and dismantle anything else, but we're just going to have a look. And as you can see, we have had a bit of oil coming past, so I'm going to see if we can order up now a set of oil seals. Let me show you what the oil seal looks like. I'm not going to take anything else apart, do it all at a time, because I just don't want it just to be one of them that just goes boom and it all flies apart and we end up in a whole heap of trouble, because that will be bad. So sometimes it's best just to take your time and inspect everything piece by piece. But overall, let's have a look, see if we've got a date on there. Germany, yeah, we know you're from Germany because you're a Mercedes. Still got the Mercedes stamp on him, but I'm not seeing a date code. Oh, I am. No, I'm not, because I made that in 15. Well, that wasn't the case. Might be 97. I don't know. I'll find out a bit more about the car, but generally and overall, that oil seal ain't torn. So it might just be a case of it's still quite supple. I don't know, we'll see if we can get them. If we can't get them, then we can't get them. Then we'll just put it back together and call it a day. But it'd be nice while we're here to pull this out, change all the oil seals, and have a generally good diff. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait now to see what the client wants to do. Present to him what we found, because there's no sadness about it. It's all decent. And basically we're going to go from there. So I'm going to call that a wrap on this video now. And as I'm going to always say, much love from me, and peace out.